Hi, welcome to Lesson 14 from Book 2 of Babette's Quick Start Guide to Theory for Fiddlers. My name is Babette, and the title of this lesson is A Brief Word About Modes. We just learned about the Aeolian mode, which is the relative minor of a major key. And we learned that the Aeolian mode starts on the sixth note, which is also called the submediant of the major scale. The Aeolian mode sounds different than the major key that it's related to. In fact, all modes sound different than the key they're related to. Yes, that's right, I said all modes because Aeolian is not the only one. There are a couple of modes that are frequently used in fiddle music, and those modes are the Dorian mode and the Mixolydian mode. The Dorian mode begins on the second note or second degree of the scale, the supertonic. So if you see this, you'll know you're in a mode because even though the key signature says D major or B minor, the first chord says E minor. And this selection here is from a tune in the Dorian mode. The Mixolydian mode begins on the fifth note or fifth degree of the scale, the dominant. This mode is not always as easy to spot because we are used to looking at and playing the dominant. Additionally, in fiddle music, modes are often mixed within a tune. Now here's an example of a well-known tune that I've seen written two different ways. Here is the first way. In this example, written in the key of A, with the first chord being an A major chord, it is hard to tell that this is in a mode. It is the G natural that tells us this is not A major, but in the Mixolydian mode, which has a lowered seventh. Now here is the same tune, but in another way I've seen it written, which is in the key of D. In D major, the fifth is more obvious because the first chord is A. And written this way, a natural sign does not have to be placed in front of the G because there is not a G sharp in the key signature. If by any chance you think modes are completely new to you, they're not. You've been playing in a mode since the day you started, and it's called the Ionian mode. It's the mode that starts on the tonic of the major key. So in this lesson, we've taken a really quick look at four modes. The Ionian mode that starts on 1, the tonic. The Dorian mode that starts on 2, the supertonic. The Mixolydian mode that starts on 5, the dominant. And the Aeolian mode that starts on 6, the submediant. And now let's look at the worksheet on a brief word about modes. Question 1. The Dorian mode starts on what degree of the major scale? The Dorian mode starts on the second degree. Question 2. Which mode starts on the dominant note of the major scale? The Mixolydian mode starts on the dominant note. Question 3. What mode was the first mode you ever played in on your fiddle? That was the Ionian mode. Question 4. What mode begins on the sixth note of the scale? That mode is the Aeolian mode. And question 5, why do you even need to know this? You need to know these words, or at least have heard them, because there's a lot of fiddle tunes played in modes. Thank you again for coming along on these lessons, this lesson of brief word about modes. I guess we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.